Fallout New Vegas perfect playthrough. Last episode ended a little bit abruptly with a crash, but we're back. And ironically, we didn't even need to go through that door
What's going on over there?
to find Senior Knight Lorenzo.
Seems good to see you. Alive, that is. Have you found all of the components yet?
They're all right here. But I want to ask you some questions first.
Sure. What about?
Oh, I guess you don't have
Good to
any
see you.
dialogue.
Alive? Really? I mean, that's great. I knew you could do it all along. I'll get right to work installing these. Why don't you go tell the Elder the good news? I'm sure it'll be a huge load off of his shoulders.
And there you go.
May I-
Yeah, he was underneath here. This bunker can be a little tough to navigate. Just a little. And I think this should be it for Still in the Dark. But far from it with the Brotherhood in general.
Back again, I see. Have you found all the components we need?
I did. Lorenzo's on it.
Good news for a change. Your efforts have humbled me, outsider. You have done more than I could expect, even from my brothers. Moreover, I've been going over the scouts' reports, and keep coming up with the same conclusion. The NCR is not the threat I've believed it to be. We should not have had to rely on your help in this crisis. I believed my actions were guided by caution and prudence, but I now see the truth. People called me a hero after what happened at Helios. But I left that battle scarred by fear, and have allowed that weakness to govern my actions. That ends now. I will undo the wrong I have done my brethren and lift the lockdown. With luck, we will once again flourish. Please, take this. It is a small token of my thanks, and scarcely begins to repay the debt owed you, but is all I am allowed to give an outsider. This key will allow you to use our safe house to the northeast. I hope it will prove useful in your travels.
And that's all the safe houses. So that's exciting. Another good tick for the perfect playthrough.
Welcome, outsider. Welcome. The lockdown has been officially lifted, and everyone seems to be in good spirits. With the surface open to us once again, Harden's already started talk of sending a force out to attack Helios, but I hope to dissuade him. What can I do for you?
And I want to join the Brotherhood.
You've certainly earned the right, but I'm afraid there's a slight matter of protocol that must be dealt with first. Exceptional individuals, like yourself, are sometimes allowed to join the Brotherhood if they perform a valuable service for it. While your actions up to this point have been commendable, I am afraid they don't quite qualify as such a service. However, I do have another task that fits the bill rather nicely. Would you consider undertaking it?
Yes. What is the task?
As one of our patrols discovered, the mutants just to the northeast have become strangely violent in the years we were secluded. However, this turn of events could also be an opportunity. We mostly left the equipment of the communications array there alone, out of respect. As the inhabitants have now proven themselves hostile, no more respect will be accorded them, making their equipment fair game. I want you to head up to the summit of Black Mountain and install this remote signal transmitter in one of their consoles. It will allow us to tap into the radar and other detection systems running there, assuming they're still operational. If we're going to operate on the surface again, it would be nice to do so with as much information at our fingertips as possible. Good luck.
And there we go. We get yet another quest. Eyesight to the blind. And let's see what Harden has to say.
It looks like you've managed to talk some sense into the Elder, outsider. Be assured I'll still be keeping an eye on him. Your efforts to help this chapter are not unappreciated. Now what can I do for you?
And there you go. That's Harden's comment. So he's a little happier. He didn't need to be Elder, you know. And I think Ibsen had some thoughts on the lockdown. Maybe he's over here. Nope. Oh well.
Reports say Mr. House's robots are now using tech.
We don't need to hear everyone's little comment. I don't really think everyone has a little comment. But despite saying that, I'm still going to see what Ramos has to say.
Oh, hey there.
Nope. See, yeah. I guess Hardin is the only real guy with a comment. But now we gotta head to Black Mountain. And before we head there, we gotta make a little pit stop for some reload bench gaming. Get some hand-loaded 5.56 for that gun, because we still need to make progress towards the Gunrunner Arsenal Challenge. I think it's called Vault 13's Revenge. And we got a nice reload bench in Good Springs. Always nice to spend some time in Good Springs. And I think this might be a little tough, but I have faith in that gun. And we got plenty of rounds. So yeah, we're really in the end game. I can't believe that we got this far in the perfect playthrough. We're well over 60 hours. And I've been trying to do it efficiently. And I think I've been succeeding at doing it efficiently. I think it's just there's just tons and tons of content in New Vegas. And you want to stick to the right here, because there are death claws over there. Here is Neil's shack.
This is a dangerous place, human, especially for your kind. I suggest you turn back. There's nothing good waiting for you further on.
What makes this a dangerous place?
You must have heard her radio broadcast. Though why a human would follow her invitation here is beyond me, unless you didn't listen very closely. The voice on the radio belongs to Tabitha, the supreme commander of Black Mountain, or as she calls it, the state of Utopia. She took control of this place almost 2 years ago. The super mutants here do whatever she says, and she says humans are to be killed on sight.
How did Tabitha end up in control?
For years, Black Mountain was a peaceful community. Its leader, Marcus, broadcast an invitation to mutants throughout the wasteland. That's how I found Black Mountain. So did others, most of them second-generation mutants. Marcus welcomed everyone. That was his mistake. The community ended up being mostly second-gen, not very bright, but easy to influence. Fine until the Nightkin came along, led by Tabitha. In a week, she had most of the second-gens thinking she was some kind of prophet, and that she should be broadcasting her truth, not Marcus. Marcus saw what was coming and decided to leave before things got out of hand. He smashed the radio and left to found Jacobstown.
You say Marcus smashed the radio. Not very well, apparently.
There's a sad story behind that. Marcus smashed it just fine, but while we were gone, some ghoul named Raoul came along. Tabitha turned him into her personal mechanic. A slave, really. See, if I'd been standing down here, I could have warned him before it was too late.
And why are you here instead of Jacobstown?
Marcus sent me here a couple of months ago to check on Black Mountain. I suppose you could say I came here as a spy. But with no signs of Tabitha's weakening and none of the second gens ready to revolt or to come to Jacobstown, there wasn't much I could do. Down here, on the other hand, I've saved a dozen mutants from heading up the mountain. It's not much, but it's something. I have my own reasons to stay away from Jacobstown for a while. Reasons we won't be discussing. So I've stayed here.
And what sort of trouble should I expect if I head up?
The road is a series of switchbacks up to the peak. There are 3 blockades plus patrols. Sneaking past them would be difficult. Just before the peak is a kind of shanty village. More second gens there. And then there's Tabitha's compound, heavily guarded by her nightkin.
And what is Jacobstown?
The opposite of Black Mountain. A stable community of mutants, mostly. Led by a mentally stable leader. Humans are welcome there, so long as they behave themselves. Look northwest of Red Rock Canyon if you want to find it.
And tell me about the Nightkin.
The Nightkin are vicious in combat, and that's if you see them coming. Most don't. They were created to be soldiers and given devices to camouflage them in battle. Unfortunately, the devices drove most of them mad over time. They spend most of their time at the top of the mountain, but patrol the roads after dark as well. You do well to avoid the mountain at night.
And it sounds like you've had enough of Tabitha. What if you had some help?
Help would improve the odds. Help might just make the difference. All right, if you're good enough at what you do to meet me in the village up near the peak, we can talk further. I'll have a plan by the time I see you, if I see you. Good luck. It's gonna be a lot harder for you to get up there than it will be for me.
And here we go. And of course you could listen to the Black Mountain radio. And I respect the threat of the mutants, so I am going to save here, especially because we're not using the full strength of our build, but rather relying on that gun. Also gonna check to see if we're drugged up. Oh yeah, we still got the drugs. But yeah, hopefully we
Can't run from me.
Okay, so actually we're actually not that bad off. Hopefully we can complete the challenge though by the time we get to the top, because there's some unique interactions also. Oh, you guys are stealing my kills. There's some unique interactions at the top that I want everyone to see. You can also go up here. It's booby trapped, but we're gonna take the long way around. We want to be fighting these mutants. We'll definitely be back here at the end of the playthrough, in the challenge episode, the challenge cleanup episode, because you need to kill like hundreds of super mutants. So yeah, that episode is actually might be pretty fun. I don't know. I pointed out that fence when we were dealing with Mo in an earlier episode. If you want to skip a few fellas. And here is Black Mountain officially. Oh, don't do it. Fucking Christ, guys. Let me kill them. super annoying. There. Alright. We're making progress. What do you got? Light machine gun. And as you can see, they're all listening to the radio. And you know what? Actually, it wouldn't be that bad an idea to take a implant GRX. Just to stay ahead of doom. I don't think we're gonna finish the challenge though, unfortunately. And you can see both of the challenges ticking up. That's alright though. Maybe we'll make a little stop. We need to re-chem up. Oh, don't come on, guys! Oh, I should not have brought you. That was like really annoying. Not a fan. Not a fan of that. EDE.
A pleasant surprise to see you made it. I'm ready to get started if you are.
Let's do it.
Here's the plan. The gate to Tabitha's compound is guarded by several Nightkin, all of them using devices that make them invisible. I'm going to draw them away from the gate by telling them I spotted an intruder in the village. Then you slip in.
That's your plan? I am an intruder in the village.
Yes. So try to stay out of sight, because they'll be coming this way.
Having a little trouble with that rock there. Neil, you're a mess. Oh, I can't even push him. Can I? Oh, there we go. Neil, this episode has been not going well at all. This episode has been going terribly. Well, you know what? It gives us a chance. Oh, there we go. We figured it out. Never mind. This episode has... Guys, you gotta let me kill the freaking super mutants. Here, let's see what we're doing. We only need to kill 6 more. But then, of course, we need to kill like 150 total. And then here, the knight can come down. You can hide, but I don't want to hide. I want to kill him. I don't think we killed that one. Oh, we did. Wow. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, we got both those kills. Alright. There's 2 more up there. I think we'll be good on this. And you know what? In a previous episode, I said we'd go back and explore Jackrabbit Springs. I think there's some super mutants there. But that's not the only thing you can do in the top here. Everyone okay? Yeah, okay. That's not the only thing you can do in the top here, because there's also a radio. And you can turn it off. We know, dum-dums. You the stupid, not us. We's taking over. And that makes all the Nightkin and super mutants fight each other. So that's another way to deal with it if you don't like Neil's sneak-in plan.
I've done what I can. The rest is up to you.
And up here we have a super mutant holding a unique rocket launcher, Annabelle. So we're gonna take another GRX. Avoid that. I thought I avoided it, but I guess not. And we only need to kill 2 more. We'd be done if it wasn't for you guys. And there's some radio transmitter control panel stuff related to maybe some cut content about stopping the broadcast. But the successful way to complete this quest is to go in the storage building. The treasure hunt note, if we go back to notes, tells you there's some good stuff hidden in here. And there is some decent stuff hidden in there, like for example, Star Bottle Cap, which we will still be collecting. But there's nothing we really need. So let's go to the broken Mr. Handy. And we see it's named Rhonda.
Hello. Could you please direct me to Mistress Tabitha?
Sure, follow me.
Thank you very much. My internal clock says it's been 6 years, 52 days, 40 minutes, and 13 seconds since I last spoke to her. I hope she hasn't gotten lonely.
And it seems that Tabitha has not had Rhonda for quite a while.
Rhonda? Is that you?
It is, Mistress Tabitha. How I've missed you so. This stranger here fixed me up right as rain. Is he a friend of yours?
I don't know how to thank you for bringing Rhonda back to me, stranger. Here, take this. I won't be needing it anymore.
What will you do now?
I don't know. It's been so long since I lost Rhonda that I'm not sure.
Mistress Tabitha, we should be heading off. Our journey has been much delayed, but we can catch up if we hurry. Come along now.
Yes, Rhonda.
And you can see if you read the logs within Black Mountain that Rhonda is Tabitha's robot, you know, similar to Antler that we saw earlier, and that she went a little crazy without Rhonda, and the voice in her head claimed to be Rhonda. Grab the key there, by the way. And encouraged her to take over Black Mountain. But now that Rhonda is back, all is well. This is the only sheet music book in New Vegas if you're a unique item collector. And we see some repair notes. And now that we got this key, we can start looting all this ammo. And here's our goal, the remote signal transmitter. If you remember that. But we're not done with Black Mountain just yet. As now we have the key to all these trunks. So we're going to check them out. And grab the unique Nuka-Cola. I say unique, but rare would be a more accurate term. And I'll leave the scavenger hunt for you all to complete. Wow, we picked up a lot of 5.56, huh? Oh, tons of reload bench games. That's what we like to see. Because we heard mention of a ghoul Raoul who fixed the radio. And here's an interesting fact. You see this toy car? Well, you read this terminal. And it tells you all this stuff that Raoul is keeping. And here you go. The mutant with the scar across his face, whom I'm taking to call in Cuddles, stopped in today and asked me to fix his car. And now it's called Cuddles' toy car. Look at that. That's the type of facts you get with the perfect playthrough. And then in entry 6, there's the password. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then this very hard locked terminal, I didn't show you, but it's very hard locked, is now immediately unlocked. So that's worthwhile. And now that Raoul is here, we're actually
Caesar's
going to
dead.
dismiss Boone.
Bet he didn't see this coming when he was having his coffee this morning. Still, it's not gonna stop the Legion. It might not even slow them down.
Still feels pretty good though, doesn't it?
Yeah. That was some kind of stunt we pulled. Whatever happens from here on out, we killed that prick in the middle of his fortress. Ought to give the rest of them something to think about.
And I think it's time that we should part ways.
If that's what you think. All
Yep.
right. Guess I'll be around.
Now it's Raoul time. Voiced by Danny Trejo, action star.
Took you long enough, so can I go now?
What do you mean took me long enough?
Sorry. I assumed the only reason you'd fight past a horde of super mutants and pick the lock on my cell is if you heard my cry for help on the radio. But maybe you're just sightseeing. So since the door's open and all, can I go now?
Who are you?
Name's Raul. Raul Alfonso Tejada. I'm the mechanic around here.
Then why does your jumpsuit say Miguel?
Probably because it used to be Miguel's. Whoever he was. How about if you let me go, huh, boss?
You're the mechanic around here?
No. No, boss. I'm a prisoner of the crazy super mutant with the wig and the glasses. I was kind of hoping you were here to set me free. But maybe I'm not a pretty enough damsel for that, huh?
And can you repair some of my stuff?
Sure, boss. I'd be happy to prolong my captivity in psychological abuse to tighten some lug nuts for you.
Oh wow, he does. I thought it'd be for free though. We'll repair that guy. We'll repair Josh. And he has a repair skill of
Back
100.
again?
And, yeah, enjoy your freedom.
Alrighty then. I'll just head out. Alone. By myself. Into the dangerous waste.
And, do you want to tag along with me?
Anything's better than staying here. Let's go.
And, this is Raoul. And, we'll get him out of Black Mountain. And, hopefully... we'll go to Jackrabbit Springs and hopefully kill two more super mutants to complete that GRA challenge. And then we'll wrap up the first part of the Brotherhood, the non-Veronica part. And I did say we'd be coming back here eventually. I said it and I meant it. There really isn't much to do in And here we go. Two super mutants are here. And there it is, all 13's revenge. So we're really making tons of challenge progress. And here's the main camp at Jackrabbit Springs. And yeah, that's the reason we put it off. Is I felt we were too low level for dealing with super mutant masters at the time, though I imagine they're level based. And yeah, there really isn't too much to Jackrabbit Springs, but I figure this is as good a place as any to put it into the episode. So now that we've dealt with all those super mutants, and I'm happy we completed the GRA challenge, we will finally turn in this quest at Hidden Valley and negotiate a truce between the Brotherhood and the NCR, and then we'll do Raoul's quest, as we have plenty of time this episode to get that done, and it's just a whole lot of talking.
There you are. A few of us wanted to thank you for being such a good friend to the Brotherhood, so we've set aside some of our recycled energy cells. We'll leave a few of them in that footlocker in the corner every so often. The Paladins scoff at using recycled ammo, so no one should mind.
And there we go, that finally happened. And yeah, I think I have a next episode dedicated entirely to Veronica. Would be a good one. This door has been causing so many crashes. But I'll give a quick save. 64 hours in, wow. Now let's talk to McNamara.
Greetings, my friend. I hope I can be of some assistance to you.
I installed the device up at Black Mountain as instructed.
Yes, we've already started receiving telemetry from it. This will be a great help in our future efforts, and I thank you. Now then, it is my great honor to bestow upon you the title of Paladin of the Brotherhood for meritorious service above and beyond the call of duty. I'm afraid a formal ceremony was out of the question, given our current state, but I hope this will make up for it. I had the Knights refurbish a suit of our power armor for your use. It's one of the earlier models, but it should serve you well. Now, I suppose I'm going to have to show you how to use it, aren't I?
Please do. Oh, don't I just put it on?
If only it were that simple. Think of power armor as a machine to be operated, rather than clothing you'd wear. With a little instruction, using it becomes as natural as simple movement. But to the ignorant, it's just so much heavy junk. So let's bring you up to speed, shall we?
Please do.
First, let's go over how to put it on.
A personal
There.
lesson from the elder.
I think you've got the knack of it now. You should now be able to wear any kind of power armor you come across. I've also given the order that all of our equipment be made available to you.
Fucking right.
Not just the more mundane arms. You're a member of the Brotherhood now, and your gear should reflect that. Lastly, you will be allowed to come and go as you please. You've done so much for us that to do otherwise would be a crime. I just ask that you keep the Brotherhood's interests at heart in all your dealings. Remember that you will always have a home here.
And wait, that's not it all yet. Fucking Raoul. Ruining my video.
Greetings, my friend. I hope I can be of some assistance to you.
The NCR is currently looking to destroy you.
I suppose it was only a matter of time. I wonder if, given the NCR's current situation, they would consider a truce of sorts. We've given up our claim to Helios, and we don't have any interest in claiming Hoover Dam, so our ambitions are not at crossed purposes. Perhaps it's time for a new strategy. Go to the NCR commander and tell her the Brotherhood is willing to put aside our enmity for the time being. Further, tell her that we are willing to send troops to aid in their coming defense of the dam. My guess is they're in no position to refuse.
That seems fairly prudent. And before we head out, let's see what this top tier gear in the old armory is all about.
Have you heard the news? Elder McNamara has lifted the lockdown. Good news for this store, let me tell you. I can't wait to start getting more goods. So what are you here for?
Show me what you got.
Our patrols are always bringing more stuff in. Take a look.
And they got Gatling laser, Gauss rifle, grenade machine gun, and power armor. We got the T-51B. But really not as impressive as I pictured. So there we go. We'll negotiate this truce with the Brotherhood. And then we'll see what Veronica has to say about the Brotherhood. Veronica's endings are interesting. But another reason, the Kings are one of the main reasons why I think the NCR is the best overall ending. But another one of the main reasons is I think that the best ending for Veronica is negotiating this truce. I think that, you know, it says like, oh, Veronica was encouraged by their pact with the NCR, and she can stay in the Brotherhood and be kind of happy. So that's just another reason for the NCR being one of my favorite, ending. And we don't need that gun anymore. We do need to make a ammo run soon, but I'll do that off screen. And while we're in Novak, we'll start on Raoul's quest. I like to save when Raoul's quest is involved because it could be very buggy. So I recommend frequent saving.
Hey, welcome. What's new?
And I think you just have to go through as much of Andy's dialogue as you can. And then hopefully Raoul comes and talks to us. Though he is just standing there. But you know what? Let's talk to Raul
Not
first.
to worry, boss. I'm sure killing the boss of one of the families will in no way lead to savage, bloody reprisals against you and your loved ones.
As we probably want to hear this dialogue before his quest dialogue. Tell me about yourself.
Sure, boss. What do you want to know?
Who are you?
You forget about me already, boss? You sure you didn't take a blow to the head or something? My name is Raul Alfonso Tejada.
Then why did your jumpsuit say Miguel, though you already answered this?
Probably because it used to be Miguel's.
And, oh. That's a good line we missed. How can I make the best use of your skills?
I'm not much use besides being a portable encyclopedia, really. I guess you could use me as a pack Brahmin. But my knees aren't so good anymore.
I don't believe that. You must have some skills.
That's nice of you to say, boss. But I'm an old man. Not much use to anybody anymore. Time was. I was a pretty good shot with a pistol. I guess I'm still half decent. These old bones aren't much use in hand-to-hand fighting, though. I can also do maintenance work on your stuff. I don't have the supplies for a real repair job, but I can keep your gear working longer.
Lots of older people are still useful to their friends and communities.
Yeah, maybe you can introduce them to me, if we find them, because I've never met one.
And I wanted to ask you something else.
I'm an open book, boss. Granted, the book's in Spanish and some of the pages have fallen out, but I'm an open book.
Where are you from?
I was born just outside Mexico City. My family had a little ranch there.
And how old are you?
Old enough to know better, boss. Old enough to know better.
And what's Petro Chico?
You never heard of Petro Chico? Un amigo de Poseidon Energy. Of course not. They were an oil company in Mexico back before the war.
And how'd you end up at Black Mountain?
Well, boss, when a giant, insane super mutant asks you to stay put, you do what you're told. Well, maybe you don't. But I'm just a broke-down old man.
But how did Tabitha find you in the first place?
It's stupid, boss. I used to listen to the radio broadcast, just to pass the time. Well, one day the signal stopped, so I figured I'd try to find a transmitter. I'm a pretty good repairman. Or I was before my eyes started to go. Anyway, I found Black Mountain and offered my services. But Tabitha decided I was useful enough to keep around permanently.
That's unfortunate. And I have some questions I'd like to ask.
Questions, boss? You mean you don't know everything there is to know already?
Can you tell me anything about Mr. House?
Just how old do you think I am, boss? Because I can pretty much guarantee I'm older than that. Let me tell you a story from before the Great War. Everybody knew Robert House. He was a genius, a superstar. Founded Robco at 22. Dated Hollywood starlets, the works. They say he saved Las Vegas. I was in Mexico City when the bombs dropped. Even from there, we could see House's defensive rockets shooting down the incoming missiles. Everybody assumed he died in the war. Maybe he did. But his robots are still out there roaming the waste. And now, a Mr. House rules New Vegas.
Maybe there's a connection. Can you remember anything else about Robert House?
I remember there were some weird stories about him, especially near the end. There was a tell-all in El Periódico de las Arboridas by a starlet House dated. She said they never, don't make me spell it out, boss. Anyway, she said all he wanted to do was scan her brain and make her dress up in different outfits.
That's sickening.
It was quite the scandal, at least in the Latin American tabloid journalism market.
You can't seriously think they're the same Mr. House.
Maybe not. Maybe the new guy is just a clever raider chief with knowledge of history. Maybe he just left instructions for his robots to carry out in his name. Or maybe Robert House uploaded his brain pattern into a computer and rules to this day a godless, soulless machine god. Maybe the whole thing's a crazy coincidence. Who knows? You're a veritable geyser of curiosity, boss.
Raoul is pretty funny. You know anything about a goon named Benny? Wears a checkered coat, carries a big pistol.
Benny, huh? Sorry, boss. Doesn't ring a bell. Then again, my brain isn't as sharp as it used to be.
And what's your take on the NCR?
They're all right, I suppose. Had a bit of tough going there at the beginning. You know their first town was nearly wiped out by raiders. Anyway, they got their good points and their bad. Just like a lot of the old governments from before the war.
And how do you feel about Caesar's Legion?
I don't really have a problem with them. People around here tend to see them as invading marauders planning to burn and pillage the countryside. But I've been to Arizona, boss. Before the Legion, it was a nasty place. So thick with raiders you couldn't trade with a town 2 miles up the road. Caesar's laws aren't nice, and their actions aren't always pretty. But then neither am I. But you keep me around.
Yeah, Raoul is probably the most pro-Legion companion in the game. And tell me about New Vegas.
It's big, it's bright, and it's one of the biggest cities still left from before the war. Well, mostly anyway. Used to be just a curiosity. The buildings were pre-war, but it's just as full of raiders and barbarian tribes as any place else. Then Mr. House took over, got the power turned back on, and got the tribes reformed into something civilized. And now they run his casinos for him.
Alright, now will you talk to me? Sometimes you have to leave the bungalow.
Hey, boss.
There it is.
Can I ask you something?
Sure, what's on your mind?
What do you think of guys like Ranger Andy?
What do you mean, guys like Ranger Andy?
I mean guys who have a world of experience doing what they do, but have to give it up because they're getting old and slow or too injured.
Even after a crippling injury, a guy like Andy is tougher and more dangerous than most men alive.
Maybe, yeah. I guess you got a point there.
We're not just talking about Ranger Andy, are we?
Not really, boss. No. I grew up in a place called Hidalgo Ranch, just outside Mexico City. It wasn't much, just a bit of a farm, with a house for 3 generations of Tejadas. I wasn't the best behaved kid. I was quick with my hands, with a pistol or a wrench. And I wasn't afraid to get into fights over it. I never killed anybody, but I had my share of run-ins with the police. Mostly my family kept me in line. This was before the war. We were far enough away from Mexico City when the bombs fell that we missed the worst of it. But things got bad quick.
Go on.
Just a few days after Mexico City was vaporized, refugees started pouring down the road to our ranch. We helped who we could, but there were so many. Eventually, my father started turning people away before we ran out of food. Things got violent. My father and I got our guns, and we drove them off.
What happened then?
About 24 men came back in the night after we'd gone to sleep. They set fire to the ranch house and barred the doors from the outside. My whole family was trapped inside. I smelled the smoke, and I got myself and my little sister Rafaela out through a window. But everyone else, my parents, my grandmother, my 2 brothers, and 2 of my sisters, all died.
What happened then?
Rafaela and I ran. We were pursued by some of the men who attacked our home. But I was always a good shot. The ones who came after us, I killed. The rest, I left be. I had to take care of Rafaela, not throw my life away on revenge.
You can't think it was your fault. No one can stand against a dozen armed men all alone.
I know that, boss. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just getting sentimental in my old age. Anyways, forget it. Just wanted that off my chest.
And the next person is up in Camp Forlorn Hope now. Corporal Sterling.
Howdy. Name's Sterling, 1st Recon. Can't say I've seen you before. I'd remember if I had.
You remember everyone who passes through here?
Got a good memory for faces, landmarks and such too. Comes with practice, that's all, and a lot of scouting from place to place.
And, interesting rifle that I stole from you. Lever action, right?
I called her the Long Carabine. Didn't always have the scope. I added that myself. Been shooting with her so long, couldn't bring myself to toss her away. Would have felt guilty to part with the old girl. The other snipers used bolt action, but Gorbets reckoned it didn't matter none if I was different, so long as I could hit my targets.
And the suspicious question is about Camp McCarran.
As a matter of fact, it's funny that you'd ask. A couple nights back, I was on watch in the yard. Got myself a habit of looking all around, not just where I'd expect to find trouble. Old habit, but it saved my hide on occasion. Round about 1 in the morning, I spied some lights in the control tower. Now that's the 3rd time I've spied those lights, mind you. And every time I ask about it, they tell me the place was empty. I'm just saying, didn't look empty to me.
Thanks for the info that we've already used.
No trouble at all. Might be nothing. Couple frisky young folks looking for a quiet place to snuggle up. That light is mighty consistent. Always there at 1 a.m. Might be worth a look.
And how long have you always been with 1st Recon?
Used to be a ranger. One of the first they sent out east back before we took the dam. Observation and reconnaissance. We took the lay of the land, checked out the locals, and kept ourselves inconspicuous. A couple friends of mine were the first to scout the dam. That was back in '73, if I recall. A lot of those rangers are dead now. Vegas always chewed men up. It's just a little more literal nowadays.
Why'd you leave the Rangers?
Well, that wasn't really a matter of choice. Got myself caught by legionaries up near Malpay. They had themselves some fun with me. Mangled my hands and feet pretty good. Wasn't much good with the pistol after that. Wasn't gonna be trekking across the waste on any more long scouts either.
How'd you manage to escape Malpais?
Caesar's boys figured I wasn't going anywhere after what they'd done to me. So they didn't bother tying me up. I crawled out of there on my elbows and knees. Must have looked a sight. Then I rolled down an embankment into the Colorado. I guess I had a mind to drown rather than give Caesar's boys the satisfaction of killing me. But a couple rangers happened to be watching from across the river. They jumped on in and pulled me out of there. Lucky break, they said.
How long have you been stationed here?
Going on 6 months now, but I reckon we'll be moving out soon enough. Can't talk about the details. Till then, we'll man the towers and keep an eye on the fiends. We've had more than our share of trouble from their direction. Whole thing smells of Caesar to me. Of course, that's just guesswork. But I'd still bet a few caps he's stirring up the locals against us.
Corporal Sterling is pretty sharp, but I don't think he realizes he's been moved to Camp Forlorn Hope. See you later.
Always a pleasure. Keep yourself safe.
Got anything to say about that, Raoul?
Got a second to talk, boss?
There it is. Sure, what's on your mind?
Meeting Corporal Sterling. Well, it kind of got me thinking. Here's a guy that's been beat all to hell, right? I mean, he could have retired from the service, but instead he signs back on and does what he can. You think he did the right thing?
And I think it's good that he's so devoted to his duty. More people should act that way.
You think so, boss? Because I remember a time when a lot of people stuck to their duty no matter what. It ended with nuclear bombs falling on my hometown.
You're talking about the Great War. What do you remember about it?
After the fire, I knew my sister and I couldn't stay at Hidalgo Ranch anymore. The refugees still wanted me dead. They even put a bounty on me. I remember how scared Rafaela was. I told her if she came with me, we'd see the vaqueros. She used to love the rodeo, especially the trick wagon. We figured maybe we could find help in Mexico City. We were young. We didn't know what had happened, really. We didn't understand about the bombs.
Wasn't Mexico City basically annihilated in the Great War?
I don't think it was as hard hit as DC or Bakersfield, but it was bad enough. By the time we got there, the city was a radioactive ruin. Still, the city was full of looters, already forming into the beginnings of raider tribes. Crime was bad before the war, but now it was a nightmare. We were living like scavengers, scraping by on what little food we could find, always looking for medicine for my burns. And then, of course, the radiation started to kick in, turning me into this handsome devil you see before you.
Sounds pretty bad.
You're a poet of understatement, boss. But there were moments it was almost worth it. I still remember finding that novelty costume shop. I was just looking around for something I could slice up to wrap my burns when I saw the vaquero outfit hanging on the rack, like it hadn't been touched. I took it, not like anybody else needed it, you know? And wore it back to our camp. Rafaela laughed. For the first time since the bombs had fallen.
Wasn't it dangerous to be dressed so noticeably?
It was. I started to build up a legend. Sometimes it headed off trouble, but most of the times it just started more. Young punks looking to prove themselves would come looking for me, but my eyes were sharp and my guns were quick. For a while, it seemed like we might even survive there, until Rafaela.
What happened to Rafaela?
She went out to find some food one day. I was sick, so I stayed at our camp. I guess it must have been the beginning of radiation poisoning. Anyway, it was supposed to be safe, but some raiders happened to pass through where she was scavenging. I won't speak of what they did to her. When I found her body, the only way to recognize her was this funny little scar on her knee from when she was a little girl.
That's terrible, Raul.
Terrible doesn't begin to cover it, boss. I let my whole family down. First the ranch, now Rafaela. I was the last Tejada. I guess maybe I went a little crazy then. I took my guns and went back to that market. I didn't have many bullets, but I had enough. After the raiders were dead, I salvaged what I could from the store. I was tired. I just wanted to be alone forever.
So what'd you do?
I left Mexico City behind. I made my way out to the Gulf Coast. Eventually, I found an old Petro Chico refinery nobody had claimed. I stayed there for a little while, and I thought a lot about my life. I thought about the guns I'd lived by, and what they'd gotten me. I decided my guns hadn't gotten me anything, and it was time to give it up. I took off the old vaquero outfit and put on a Petro Chico jumpsuit. The name tag said Miguel, so I started using the name myself. Eventually, I made it to Arizona. That's another story, boss.
And Raul's final person to talk to is Loyal. And I'm gonna save again. So we've actually gotten through all of Loyal's dialogue, so this can once again get a little weird. And Loyal's not here, huh? I thought for sure he would be. This is, after all, his house. Well, we'll track him down. And yeah, Raul's quest, I guess, can really be up to you. Whether you have him go back to the old ghoul vaquero, or focus on repair and put that life behind him. But I like to make him a vaquero.
Isn't that bomber a beauty? Thanks so much for making an old man's dreams come true.
As you can see, Loyal doesn't have too much dialogue.
That's a good thing to see, huh, boss?
What are you talking about?
That Loyal guy. He's getting up there in years, but he still finds a way to make himself useful to his people. If you ask me, that's better than withering away all alone or holding on to some faded piece of glory from your past.
Loyal's using his years of knowledge to help his tribe. I think that's a noble goal.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
What's on your mind?
Old history, boss. I left everything when I left Mexico. My home, my family, my name, even my face. I know it's surprising, boss, but I wasn't always this handsome. As far as the world knows, I was Miguel, and I was okay with that. I headed north for a while, and ended up in Tucson. Not Tucson, by the way. Things were good there. Well, maybe not good, but better than Mexico City anyway. I found myself a little shack, started fixing things.
Fixing things?
Well, sure, boss. I was always good at fixing things. Some I fixed for the town, some I fixed for other people, some I fixed just for the hell of it. It's a better way to use your hands than killing. And even then, I wasn't getting any younger or faster. I lived there for a long time, kept to myself, didn't get into any fights. Hell, the only reason I even kept my guns oiled was professional pride.
Why aren't you still there then?
Getting there, boss. I'd been in Tucson. The locals can call it Tucson all they want, but it's Tucson, damn it. About 75 years when she showed up. Prettiest thing you ever saw, boss. Maybe it was just a trick of my senile brain, but I swear she looked just like my Rafaela. Her name was Claudia. She ended up taking work at one of the brothels in town. I never went to her, of course. How could I? But I looked after her in my own way.
What happened with her?
This was a long time ago, before Caesar's Legion pacified Arizona and brought the raider tribes to heel. A tribe came into Tucson one day. More a gang, really. Dirty Dave and his 6 brothers. They were looking for bullets, and I sold some to them. I figured if I did that, they'd leave town before they tore it up too much.
But they didn't, did they?
No, boss. No, they didn't. As I was saying, I hoped they'd leave the town in peace. Instead, they decided to stop at Claudia's brothel to take the edge off. I don't know which one of them got rowdy first, but by the time I heard the screams and got my guns, it was too late. They shot up the brothel, killed 4 girls, and taken Claudia for their sport.
Did you rescue her?
I went after Dave and his brothers. They had a head start, but they slept nights. I didn't. It took me 3 days to catch up to them. Claudia was dead when I got there. They put a bullet in each of her eyes. I couldn't do anything except avenge her, just like Rafaela. I charged into the middle of their camp and started firing. 2 of them were dead before they knew I was there. The other 5, though, they shot the shit out of me. I would have died, I think, if I wasn't so full of rage.
How'd you survive?
By being a meaner old cuss than the rest of them, boss. I wanted to keep living until they weren't. So I just kept shooting until they were all dead. I was in pretty bad shape in the end, though. I don't know how long I laid there, with the sun baking me and the buzzards chomping at me. Eventually, I got the strength to start moving. Some long time after that, I managed to drag my carcass back to town.
What happened then?
When I recovered, more or less anyways, I left Tucson and headed west. I ran into Tabitha at Black Mountain, and well, the rest you know. I swore I was done with the gunslinging life. I was too old, too slow, and too beat up to protect anyone anymore. I thought I was done forever, but after traveling with you, I realized I've always had my doubts.
Doubts? About what?
About whether I still had what it took to carry my pistols proudly, to use them to do what's right. And now that I've been traveling with you for a while, you made me realize that I can still do that. Maybe I'm not as tough as I used to be, but my brains can make up for that. And my hands are still quick enough. It's time to put the guns back on.
And this reaction depends on the dialogue choices you take. And I think that's a great idea, Raoul, and I hope you'll put them to good use with me.
You can bet on that, boss.
And I mainly pick the old Vaquero option because, I don't know, Raoul seems happy with it, and he has a sick outfit.
Over-elaborate mob schemes to take over Vegas. Reminds me of the days before the war.
And you can have him tell the stories again. Unfortunately, now that I've completed your quest, I need to head on without you.
Good call. I mean, if that's what you really want, boss.
I think it's for the best.
That's why you're the boss. You always make the right decision. I'll just head home. Home to my lonely abandoned shack in the middle of nowhere.
Sorry, Raoul. I do like Raoul, though. He is a good companion. Just because of where he's placed in the story, it's tough to find a lot of use for him. But now let's finally make peace between the Brotherhood and the NCR. And then we're not going to go any further down the NCR quest for quite a bit after that.
I sure hope I get to meet President Kimball.
That's a funny mistake there.
Has the Brotherhood been found?
I talked the Brotherhood into supporting the NCR.
And you believed them? Do you have any idea how long we've been fighting those bastards? Ugh, Crocker will have a field day with this. He'll want to establish diplomatic relations with them, for Pete's sake. But we've got more important matters to attend to. The President is due to arrive soon, and we're sure the Legion won't waste such an opportunity. I want you to assist the security detail we've prepared for the President. His safety is critical to maintaining the men's fighting spirit. Go up to the Visitors Center and speak to Ranger Grant. He's in charge of security during the President's visit. Dismissed.
And we won't be doing that quite yet. And I think that'll be all for this episode. Next episode will not be, you'll know it when it happens. It'll be, I Could Make You Care. As we grab Veronica and see if she can help the Brotherhood. And we might complete another quest along the way. So I'll see you next time in the Fallout New Vegas Perfect Playthrough. I'm looking forward